Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay coming live from the garage, from the studio. Funny story to start this kind of serious episode off. Um, I love the garage, this garage, and, what it's been through. And, it wasn't always this designed like this and this comfortable. Um, but there were, when the homies come through or when we're making music, chilling, smoking, with the broskies and stuff in here, it's a vibe. Everyone's having a good time. When I've brought in some women to come see the garage, this one chick, man, because this is kind of my pride and joy. And I know it's not much. I'm not one who has many things, or yeah, whatever you. I don't have a lot of money, and I also am just not very materialistic. Oh, so let me just make sure this is recording. I wish it gave you like a little red light or something. But anyways, she came and we were doing some painting and stuff, and she was like, yeah, it is just a garage. And I was just like, bitch, you can leave. I didn't say that, but I was just like, well, you can leave because this is my pride and joy. Man, I guess that wasn't as funny of a story as I thought. More just hurtful. Yeah, man, I'm just kind of, what's the word? I don't like the word butt hurt, but that's kind of just how I'm feeling today. The world kind of shit on me. I just finished this book, Right Things Right Now by Ryan Holiday, and it's about justice. And in my early 20s, I would have never read a book like this, but I just finished it on a walk this morning. And the difference between justice and kindness was one of the things that was brought up, where I think in my life I've often seen things that were just, that weren't kind, and those are the things that kind of bother me the most. When people act, you know selfishly. I act selfishly, and I do understand that. But there's just a level of things where it's just, man, it's so important to care, and just so many people don't give a shit about other people. And not even that you have to go above and beyond, just the level, the bar is so low, and for decency and kindness, it's just, what even, is. Anyways, it just seems like I'm lacking a lot of kindness. And so, anyways, a bunch of things have been thrown in my face over the last week and a bit, and I got a lot of things to figure out on my own end. However, while I was butthurt and in kind of this shitty mood, I thought I would talk about an injustice that happened to me. That I went to school earlier. Let's just dive into this. I haven't wanted to tell this story because it's so negative, but just because it's negative doesn't mean it's untrue, and doesn't mean that these institutions don't need to be held accountable. So this is kind of we're testing out a new format here. This might be the new way we have to do podcasting for a bit. I'm not sure. We'll see how things happen. Anyways, I'm talking about. So I went to school in January. So a little backstory on me. I'm a caregiver. Um, Trying to make it as an artist. Trying to just make it. Trying to find a way to support the family while still being able to help take care of my parents and live a full life. And so, with limited options, I decided to go back to school in January. Well, months before that, I decided that. I just finally got enrolled in January, or not enrolled, but my courses started in January. And I went to school, got accepted, got a loan because your boy is financially in a hard time. And that was another thing too, actually, was no longer being embarrassed of my story, my situation, man. I'm a kind-hearted person, and there's very few people like me in this world, and that's okay, man. And I preach these things, but I live by them. More love, more success, more love first, forgiveness first. But man, fuck these institutions, and I'll get to this anyway. So go back to school. I decided to go back to school for marketing. I'm like, this will probably give me some good opportunities. Maybe I'll learn some things. I know schooling isn't necessarily always worth it, but my options are limited, and I'm trying to have a better future for myself and the people that I take care of. So enroll, whatever, get accepted, blah blah blah. Courses starts January. Um, so why I want to bring this up is I had the worst experience with this institution that I've ever had with anything ever. And shout out Athabasca University in Alberta. You are the worst managed program I've ever. I just can't even. We'll get into this. So it's an online school. Cool. I don't need a lot of help. I'm a pretty smart guy, I think, anyways. But I'm going back to school to hopefully get smarter. So I'm taking marketing. I have law and all this stuff. First semester. I'm taking like a 1 year cert to get my university diploma because I was hoping to find a job online marketing. So again, I can kind of help at home because again, I'm a caregiver and I need money. So it's a tough situation. So it's just that's what was in my head. Then maybe because I was applying for jobs and it seemed like you needed some further education. Even though I've owned businesses, I've done a bunch of social media marketing. Anyways. So one of my first issues with the program was I got this teacher, and I haven't been at school in a decade, man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's learn at your own pace, but you also get assigned tutors. And they tell you they have regular hours. You can call them, you can message them. They're there to help. Cool. I'm kind of flying through these programs. I'm trying to get because again, my mom has these seizures every 4 to 8 weeks, and for about a week or two, she loses her memory and um, in a lot of pain, and she just needs a lot of help. And I try to be there for her because it's tough, man. Um, so I try to like I'm I try to get as much school done so that when something comes up, I'm not scrambling for time and I'm not super behind. So I'm fucking busting ass in these programs. I'm averaging fucking honors, 80s, 90s on quizzes. I'm handing in assignments. Anyways, so this thing comes up and I have to ask one of my tutors for help, you know, 3 weeks into the program or whatever. And essentially, this teacher says, "You're a smart guy, figure it out yourself." And again, I reply a couple emails back. I'm like, I can't figure this out. That's why I need help. Again, blah blah blah. Figure it out yourself. Figure it out yourself. Probably 3 or 4 different emails of essentially him telling me to figure it out myself. So I'm like, okay, fuck this guy, man. I don't know how to hand this an assignment in. This is one of the questions. I don't know what to do. So I contact whatever student help, and they're like, okay, we'll switch you prof. Boom, switch me right away. I mean, I could tell that this guy was just useless. Why he has a job there, useless. I get switched. I get switched to this other tutor's program. She sends me an email as soon as I'm switched saying, "Here are some of the things you need to know to be successful at this course." Boom. Like the number one thing was, "I know this is challenging. Here's how you do this." And I was like, that's the question I was asking the other dude. So that's my first issue. Anyway, so I continue on. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I got this new lady. Fuck that other guy, man. He can go fucking jump in a ditch for all I care. Like, what's the point of being a tutor if you're not gonna help people? I just like, what are you doing with your life, bro? Fuck you is what I'm saying. Because he was a dick the whole time. I was very nice, very polite, and then he was an asshole. I got the receipts too. That's the thing too. Is if these people or this university or anybody comes for me, I got the motherfucking emails, bro. All of them. That's why if there's ever a conflict, I never talk on the phone. Text and emails. Text and emails. Text and emails. All the receipts, baby. All the receipts. Oh, I'm getting fired up. But I've been fired up. Okay, and then so at this point, I'm doing well in school, and then I get an email saying, "Hey, your fees are due." And I'm like, "Oh, let me call student aid." For those of you who don't know, it's like the governing body. Alberta Student Aid is, you get part of your student aid from the federal government, part of it from your province. And that I'm like, that's weird. I've already been approved, and the money is not going from me; it's only going to the school. And I was like, that's weird. Okay, weird. So I call them. Blah 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 blah. Money's on the way. It should be there by the end of the month. All right, cool. Um, I got another issue, and I'll bring it up on this too with student aid too. These motherfuckers, man. Um, so then, so I'm like, okay, whatever. So I call student aid. They say everything's fine. The funds usually take up to 30 days to get to the school. You know, whatever. So I keep for the next 2 weeks. I get several emails from the school saying my fees are due, and I message them back saying, "Hey man, I call student aid. They said that the money is coming. They said not to worry about it. This is typical." And they also said, because I called student aid 3 or 4 times. So there's my school, and then there's student aid. Student aid is who gives me the money to pay the school. Student loans. And my school keeps emailing me saying, "Hey man, you're not paying your fees. You're gonna get kicked out of the program." And I'm like, I call student aid, and they're like, "It's coming. If they need to, they can give us a call." So that's what I do, man. And then this was a shitty week for me, man. The girl I was seeing at the time, she loses her mind at me. My mom. This is all in the same day. She loses her mind at me. My mom has a seizure, and so there's all that I'm dealing with. The next day I wake up. That's Sunday. On Monday I wake up because I got to get some schoolwork done. So even though my mom's sick, I still have to try to get some of the schoolwork in. Get some of the schoolwork. I try to log on to my account, and I'm blocked out. And I'm like, what? What's going on here? And they're like, "Hey man, you didn't pay your fees. You're kicked out of school. Send us all your material. You're not welcome back. Blah blah blah." Actually, a very brutal email. I was like, what the? fuck? So my heart is it's like, what happened? Where did all this money go that that is under my name? So I'm calling the school in a panic, and they're like, well, you have to talk to this girl. You have to talk to this girl. You have to talk to this girl. And she's busy. She can't talk to you. I was like, well, I just got kicked out of school. What the fuck's going on? So several days, and then I call student aid. Student aid's like, we sent the school the money. It's not us. Sent the school the money. And I was like, well, where's the money? Long story short, we got to go back and forth with student aid has to run an investigation. They're like, it's going to take 15 business days. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do at this time? The school's not responding back to me for days. Then, whatever, by the end of the week, I get reinstated in my classes. Um, After they told me I'm not welcome back, they send me an email saying, hey, if this ever happens again, you're kicked out for sure, you know, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, what? I didn't do anything, bro. What the fuck is going on? And so at this point, the school was like, we don't know what happened. And student aid's like, we don't know what happened. And I'm like, well, you guys kicked me out. So this is like, I got whatever, 12 weeks in a semester, 16 weeks in a semester. You kicked me out for one. What the fuck's going on? How do I know you guys aren't going to kick me out next time and blame me for this? What the fuck is going on? So then you got to go through this program called OMU Buds. And so I messaged them to figure it out, and I'm like, bruh, somebody messed up. Foreshadowing. For fucking shadowing. And I'm like, what's going on here? How did you lose my money? Where did it go? Why am I being blamed for all of this? So I have to go through this Omnibuds program, but they've kicked me out. The school has been treating me like a piece of shit, even though they're the ones in the wrong here. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm an honor student. I've been doing good. I've already had problems with their fucking teaching staff. Now I'm having problems with their financial system. So I'm like, I call student aid and I'm like, hey man, I don't know what's going on. They say they don't know where my money is. Now I'm back in this program, but now they're saying if this happens again, I'm gonna get kicked out. What's going on? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. And so I get called. They're like, okay, let's see if we can move this along. So then they're like, well, maybe you need to contact your MLA, your member of legislation assembly, or whatever the fuck, your MLA, the person the person in government that represents my area. And I get some assistant or something, and they're essentially telling me that I need to find help from a lawyer, because the way universities work in Alberta is they get their own rules and special treatment, and the government can't really fucking dwindle with it. And so, anyways, I get moved up, and I'm like, well, what? I try to find a lawyer. I get all these references. None of these lawyers call me back. Turns out no one wants to be, going against the school. That's why I had to make this podcast, man, just to say fuck y'all. Fuck Athabasca University, man, and how they treated me. And, that's why I'm making this, because, I heard about something else, and I decided, you know what, it's finally time to tell this story. So, anyways, I get moved up. I get talking to people. They're like, okay, we're gonna reach out to the Minister of Higher Education. And once they do that, I get a call from student aid. I get a call from some dude in student aid who I thought was helping me out, but it was not. Um, so essentially, I go through this program. All right, and then so student aid sends me this list of, hey, we sent money this date, we don't know what happened to your school. You know, the money went to the basket account. Some of the money went to you for your living expenses. And I was like, yeah, okay. Talking to the school's like, yeah, man. So this is the thing is I didn't even get an acceptance of them being wrong for 6 weeks because I had to go through this fucking because I'm like, man, I'm not you guys kick me out. I'm supposed to just start back up and then I'm supposed to trust that you guys can provide me with a proper education during this time. You kicked me out for something I didn't do. And they wanted me just to continue on like nothing happens, like I didn't just lose a week of schooling, and you guys didn't just fucking say that I owe you all your textbooks and I'm not welcome back and all of this. And if it ever happens again, that I definitely don't have a chance. Even though, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked because I'm getting angry. Oh my god, I hope that's still. I hope y'all can still hear me through all of this. Fuck, this turned off. Anyways, no lawyer wanted to help me out. No, nobody. And now I'm just thousands of dollars in debt from going to this stupid fucking program, man. So that's a bummer. So that's a bummer. So at the Basca University, that's what it is. Yeah, I tried to find help. I tried to get help from the government. I tried to get help from lawyers, and you know, and it's funny because I was just reading that book on injustice, and you know, I was treated unjustly, and I just wanted things to be made fair, and they were not. So I made this podcast. Fuck that school, man. Fuck that school. Yeah, you know, it's just, and they're gonna get completely away with it, and that's whatever. Things come up, people get treated unfairly, and so I thought I would just come, spit the truth, spit the facts. If they get angry, whatever. I got the receipts. I got the emails, man. I got all the emails of all the neglect, all the wrongdoing, all the assholery. It's a wild life we live out here, you know what I'm saying? I wonder how much this mic was turned off. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so that and see what happens. Anyways, I know that wasn't the most positive episode of A Moment with Jay, but that's just life sometimes, I guess. These institutions need to be held accountable, man. Student aid. Student aid too, man. Why I gotta owe you that extra like 2 grand? Y'all like come on, man. Come on. Y'all gonna take my scholarship away because this school's program fucked me up? I don't know, man. It's just me bitching and complaining. But rightfully so. And that's why I try to be kind to others. You never know what people are dealing with on the flip side, you know. Anyways, I gotta figure out, you know, my situation right now. I gotta find a way to make some more money while still being able to support the fam. So it's life, man. Everyone's out here struggling and trying to make their way. But you just gotta lead with love, and you gotta lead with hope, hope. I hope that these institutions will be better, and I hope that student aid, the government, and all that will be all right. But so is life, man. So is life. I'm also recording this podcast hella early, man. I've just been hella stressed. Um, Not to keep venting on this podcast, but I guess that's really what it is. Um, so I got maybe 4 hours of sleep last night. Up really late, got up super early this morning. Just went for a walk just to think, like, do I want to even do this podcast? Do I want to say these things? But it's like, yeah, I think these institutions need to be held to a higher standard. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so Athabasca University, man. If you want to make things right, make things right. Student aid, Alberta. If you want to make things right, make things right. There's justice, and there's kindness, and y'all lacking in both. Y'all lacking in both. Yeah, I think that I'll leave that at that. I got a vinyl record coming out later this year, hopefully. So if you could, hit the link, pre-order that. It would mean a lot, man. If we can get 100 of these motherfuckers sold ASAP, it'll really go a long way to support me and the fam. Anyways, more love, more success. I hope you can make it through the bullshit in your life and come out the other side, man. Stay hopeful. I'm motivated. I'm inspired. All right. I got a lot of work to do. I gotta go through the audio. I hope all the audio of this worked so that I can post it and I don't have to sit here and go through this again. All right. More love, more success, man. This has been A Moment with Jay.